Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 219 of At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit.
And the Executioner, Daniel Travis.
I'm Matthew Smith, aka the Unbreakable Spirit. I got the number wrong last week, but I'm positive this is the correct number. If you don't believe me, check our website at oddspod.riverside.com. We got wrestling this week, even though I'm wearing no merchandise to that. Let's just run through the topic.
Whatever. Topic number 1.
Our frustration with WWE's creative as of late.
Yes. Number 2.
Does WrestleMania actually need a host?
Number 3.
And even though you can't see it, we do have our cameras on, and we don't know when this episode is going to be released on our YouTube, so subscribe, by the way. But we have predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver 2026. So let's talk about WWE logic for 6.5 minutes.
Alright, you go first.
Are we even really surprised with how inconsistent WWE has been as of late?
I mean, my honest thought is, yeah, there's a little bit of surprise because it's like, because when you know that WWE has had for a couple years, some really solid booking and some really solid, amazing storylines. Now it's just kind of like, because you went for a couple WrestleManias in this TKO era where it was like the build up to WrestleMania was cannot miss. Or like the year of storylines was used a lot more unpredictability. Now it's kind of just like, because the biggest problem I have is, I'm going to use the Cody Rhodes storyline with Drew McIntyre, is if you put it, because even if it's by word or in a contract, because with Cody Rhodes, like, hey, if he wins, because I saw a little clip of his interview, like, so, because I saw an interview from his interview with Chris Van Vliet where he's like, so wait a minute, if Cody wins the Rumble, he gets a shot, so I'm going to prevent that. So if he wins the Chamber, he gets a shot.
He gets a shot. I'm going to prevent that as well. Then for no reason, he gets a shot on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, okay, here's another big problem. We have a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I'm going to say this right now.
But it's become a staple of WrestleMania, might I add. If you remember in like the multiple years in a row, they had a multi-man ladder match for the title.
The last time we had a ladder match at WrestleMania was in 2016.
Yeah, I said the 2010s.
Anyway, but that's not my point. When they announced, oh, Penta's gonna be having an Intercontinental title ladder match, we're all just like, cool, they're gonna do the qualifying matches over multiple weeks. Like, no, apparently these qualifying matches already happened on main event.
Yeah, and for we know, some of them could have been taped and aired before Penta announced it.
I mean, to be fair, and then we're streaming main event on their YouTube channel.
Just like what Topic 3 is.
But it's kind of just like, why? I mean, what's your problem with WWE's booking? Seriously.
It often doesn't follow its own lore in some cases. And the perfect example of that is actually what you said, McIntyre versus Rhodes. They had a contract for a match where if Cody lost, he could not challenge for the title again. Or a verbal agreement where he could not challenge for the title if he lost. And he lost. But then he was in the Rumble. And we know Cody is obsessed with winning that title specifically. And so Drew cost him the Rumble. Then Drew cost him the Chamber. Then for no reason, he gets a random world title shot on SmackDown that he wins. A title shot, mind you, he should not have had. Now, you can call me the biggest Cody crybaby in the entire Milky Way galaxy, but even I think that's stupid.
Yeah. Because like Randy Orton said when he turned heel, he's like, bro, this was supposed to be easy. I was supposed to do this to he's like, I was supposed to do this to McIntyre, not you.
Yeah.
Like, I think Randy already made up his mind. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start listening to the voices again.
Yeah, I mean, they do count them and they understand actual logic.
Okay, because here's another big WWE storyline problem no, it's not the Intercontinental title. It's more of just like, if you guys are building, I feel like the last good wrestling storyline that they've had. I don't care about the time we're going up, but I gotta say this. But what was like the last good wrestling storyline I honestly can remember them having was the Drew McIntyre CM Punk rivalry.
So are you saying that their bad blood, the booking went downhill?
I mean, like, I'm saying, yeah, it's kind of going downhill because it's kind of just sure, you have all these wrestlers and all these matches, but it's just okay, like, for example, what was the point of Sami Zayn winning the United States Championship again when he had a month talking to Cody and Randy about, I want to win a world title, what do I need to do? And then you immediately win the US title. Where does that logic make sense?
Valid. And you want to talk about bad booking, like consistently bad booking?
Yeah.
There's only one example I need to make my point. Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, can you explain?
Like, it's often the forgotten championship of the women's division. The Women's United States Championship gets more screen time than the women's tag, and that title is never defended.
Yeah, before okay, one thing that I do want to say that is about in the inconsistency of storylines, that is when why is that sometimes the baby faces get rewarded for opportunities when the heel is more right than the baby when the heel, why is that sometimes the heel has to go through more hard times just to earn a championship, but yet it is very easy and simple for the babyface?
Because people like seeing the good guys win, and you have no right to talk, Mr. Good at predictions, because you forget that heels, despite the rematch clause no longer being a thing in WWE, constantly get rematches for titles
True.
once they lose them.
True. Okay, because also this is the last thing I'm in is my final thought on WWE's booking, but that is if you're supposed to okay, here's my major problem. If you're supposed to, like a broad breaker, build somebody up as a main eventer, as the quote next wrestler, as you keep pushing this guy's the next big main eventer, why do you have him lose a match where it's all obvious that this man, if you say constantly that this man is a main eventer, then push him to the main event. Don't just say execute. That's all I gotta say. What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are if WWE followed actual logic, more people might watch the product.
Yeah. All
We
right,
will
we'll
be
be back.
back with topic numero 2. And we are back with topic number 2. Does WrestleMania really need a host? In my opinion,
I
even though
mean,
this year's host we can't see,
yeah, but,
Yeah, back to your brother.
yeah, my honest thought is with the amount, I mean, is it gonna help that WWE is bringing in John Cena 4 months after his retirement? So that's a bit of a weird thing to do, honestly. You ask me, but it's
Yeah,
just, uh,
and according to our source, which is more often than not Ringside News, is to drive up ticket sales. Maybe you'll get more tickets
if you lower your
if
prices.
your prices didn't cost an arm and a leg, plus a kidney for good measure.
Yeah, now my question, I mean, like, this is just honestly my question is if John Cena is don't just have John Cena be like a traditional, alright, host. You know, because obviously John Cena's in-ring career, you can't be, don't, don't like advertise or build any sort of storyline out of this, but it's just, this might be the perfect way to, if you want John Cena to give somebody the John Cena rub, maybe have him get involved in a WrestleMania storyline. Like, I don't know, the Cody Randy one, or the Gunther Seth one, or have Cena actually do something.
And we all know he's just going to be the traditional style of host, like the style that Dwayne was at 27,
Yeah,
or the New Day when that one year they hosted, or Alexa Bliss, Hogan, any of these hosts that honestly aren't really necessary,
no,
especially when they're active members of the roster.
because also, you were, if WWE was smart, let's say, they did have a host of WrestleMania, bro, it would be bro, it would be the absolute most genius idea is if you had a heel figure, a heel wrestler be the host and you use that as a launching pad to get the heel. It's like to get the heel even more heated. It's like, like you have like a big heel, but that heel is currently out with an injury, but he's currently involved in a feud with the wrestler that's competing. You could have him screw over that wrestler and lead into other stuff. Like, actually get
How did
creative
they
with
not
that shit.
do that with the Miz? Remember that year Miz and Snoop Dogg were hosts?
I forgot about that.
How did they not do that with Miz?
Yeah.
Like, come on, though.
What's your thought on do you think WWE needs a host? What is your opinion?
I don't think WrestleMania does. WWE currently has authority figures for all major and developmental brands. They don't need a host for WrestleMania.
Okay.
Raw has Adam Pearce. NXT has Robert
No, Nick,
Stone.
no, no.
Evolve has Timothy Thatcher. SmackDown has Nick Aldis.
Yes. I mean, yeah. You're right. Every single brand does have an authority figure. Do I think WrestleMania needs a host? No. Do I think WWE should use John Cena to help create a big star that night? Yes, 100% should. Use John Cena
Yeah.
to use John Cena to help make a younger talent a big star. Like, have John Cena, give a little bit of rub to Javon Evans or something, or give him a rub to Obafemi. I doubt he needs it, honestly, but something to,
I'm glad that you say a younger. I'm glad that you say it's a younger star because I was gonna say, yeah, give him the rub, Rumble wears some no, whether men or women. Now remembered both Rumble winners this year are previously established stars.
Yeah, because my honest take, my final thoughts is that if you're gonna have all these WrestleMania ticket sales be expensive, at least this is leading into the last segment, but at least making like it worth going to the event. At least make the storylines worth me giving crap.
Yeah, see previous segment for context.
Exactly my point. What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are if you wanted ticket sales to be better, don't give WrestleMania a host of someone who honestly should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just lower your prices so we don't need to sell limbs and a kidney.
Or it costs 10K, this is an actual thing, to ride on Cody Rhodes' bus.
Who would want to do that in the first place aside from Brandy and Pharaoh?
Yeah.
Like Randy Orton was surprised that WrestleMania tickets were like what or something,
That's
and now
coming
they're
from
asking people. Yeah, and now they're asking people, "Hey, you want to ride on Cody Rhodes' bus? He has $10,000 American.
and that's coming from a guy who's been in the wrestling business since he was 19.
I mean, that's nothing crazy. I read an article on Ringside where a wrestler started training to be a wrestler when she was 14 years old.
All right. Yeah. We'll be back for the last one.
We are back with the 30-pound topic. The predictions, not prediction battle. We
What the
did that
fuck?
last month. For don't tell me you already lost audio.
No, I'm good. Continue.
Okay, for NXT Stand and Deliver 2026. We have, I believe, WWE.com said 7 matches. I didn't list 2 of them because they were non-title. Let me pull up the source, which was WWE.com, if I can find it, that is. There we go.
Mm.
So, just to give you a rundown of the matches, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT, the
All right.
Triple Threat for the women's,
All right.
we have a women's North American, we
All
have a
right.
men's North American,
All right.
then we have an NXT tag team,
Cool.
we have Sorbuka versus Zarya, and
Cool.
then we have a like 8-person mixed tag.
All right.
That's 7 matches.
Yep.
So let's start off with the North American Championship match, which is Miles Bourne versus Johnny Gargano. Apparently, the
Now,
departure of Tommaso sent Johnny back to developmental.
yeah, no, I think this match is gonna be now if this real now do I think this match is gonna be good? Yes. I mean with this I don't know honestly cuz I feel like WWE could 100% swerve us, honestly.
And what, have Johnny win or something?
Yeah, like
Johnny
this
lose,
could
maybe?
I mean, Johnny lose. I don't really see that. I could see that, but I'm gonna pick my answer to this is I think Johnny Gargano's gonna win.
Okay, so I I've said this before, I'm pretty sure. Well, technically, I've said this about part timers, but Johnny's not part timer. I don't like when main roster talent wins developmental championships.
But considering this is Johnny Gargano,
Considering Johnny used to be the
face
literal heart and soul of NXT, would I like him to win if his character currently was bad?
yeah, because I saw a clip of Johnny saying, "Hey, you want Johnny wrestling? Be careful what you wish for."
I'm still gonna go Miles Bourne.
All right.
But anyways, the next match is the NXT Tag Team Championship. Former Evolve Superstars The Vanity Project taking on Los Americanos. You know, those guys pretending to be American luchadors that are all played by people from across the pond, or other words, since
Yeah.
Ludwig is El Grande.
I'm gonna give it to Vanity. My pick is Vanity Project.
I agree with you on that because and Bravo or whatever they called
Bravo.
Pete
I
Dunne and
think
Tyler
Bravo and
Bates,
Bravo.
they're not gonna win. Okay, on to the next one. For the women's North American Championship, we have the champion Tatum Paxley taking on Blake Monroe.
I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna pick Blake Monroe. That's my pick.
All right, I'm gonna go Tatum since she's actually a pretty good performer. All right, I'm actually gonna skip the found two matches that I typed out. Let's say so Sorbuka and Zarya are what I'm gonna do next, which means need to go down to number 6. Who do you think and why?
I don't know. I'm not really. I think. I feel like Zarya needed to make to establish her as an incredible single star. Honestly,
Okay,
but
and I
also
have heard
But also, before you
you
say
go.
anything, is that why? Because I remember watching their promo battles, but it's just if someone honestly explained the segment to me when you write up, why is that Soruka, who was supposed to be the baby face, sound like a heel, but Zarya's promo sounded like a baby face, but was supposed to be a heel.
You haven't even done the first topic of this episode.
Right. That's weird. Just thought I randomly say that.
Yeah, I wish you had brought that up in topic 1, actually.
I forgot about it.
Oh, too late now. I have heard rumors of Sol Ruka potentially getting a call up in the near future, so I will also go Zarya.
All right.
All right, the next match we predict before we get back on track is Hank and Tank, Shiloh Hill, EK Prosper, and the women's speed champion Ren Sinclair versus British Rights, whatever that is,
No,
in a
board to
mixed
rights.
person. It says British Rights.
Oh,
In a mixed person 10-man tag team match.
I'm gonna go with birthrights. I'm gonna go with birthrights. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna put team 1 for my choice because there's no way I'm spelling all that out. Alright, back to what I could actually type out. The women's NXT championship will be on the line as JC Jane defends her NXT Women's Championship in a triple threat match against the former newly evolved Women's Champion Kendall Gray and Lola Vice.
Yeah, and the reason because one woman tapped out at the same time, one woman was being pinned at the same time.
Yeah, so Robert Stone decided, you know what? Triple threat match.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. My pick. This honestly might surprise you. My pick is the former Evolve Women's Champion, honestly.
Kendall Gray, really?
Yeah.
I got I hate to say it, but well, actually that's a bold faced lie. I gotta go with Lola. I think it's about time Lola gets some
Singles.
hardware, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, she does technically do, but she's one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions with Mr. Iguana.
Right, with Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, that weirdo.
The guy with the iguana puppet.
Yes, that guy.
Is it bad that we think the champion is the wild card? Because you gotta remember, JC has fatal influence backing her up.
That is true. And it is a triple threat match. I just hope her faction actually does the smart thing and get involved in said match.
They're so dumb. Anyways, most likely in the main event, fatal four-way. The NXT champion, the man who you'll say his name and he'll appear if we get enough money to get him on this podcast, that is, Joe Hendry defends his NXT title against Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and Tony D'Angelo in a fatal four-way match. That statistically means we have a 75% chance of a title change.
So who do you got?
I'd say since there's an even number of people, we each pick two.
Okay, I know what my two picks are.
Let me guess. Yours are the Revolution, Ricky Saints, and All Ego, Ethan Page.
Yep,
All right, then I get
the Revolution Ego.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write Tony because I'll spell D'Angelo uh off Cam since you know. All right, let me stop sharing. And that is all the topics for this episode. Thank you for listening or watching whenever the heck this
Whatever.
gets up on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll be back with a crossover episode next week. Follow the podcast on socials, link in the
Yeah.
description below. Subscribe to our YouTube, link will also be in the description below. We'll be back, like I said, next week. But until then, the
Yeah.
Executioner and the Unbreakable Spirit will still be at